Well, it's Friday, and you all know what that means. Well, today, if you guys are big fans of the Japanese wrestling scene, then you guys are in the right channel. So, today we're going to be doing two reviews from that. The first one is ChocoPro's much latest show, number 482. And this features many matches, of course. We have two tag team matches and one singles match. And then, of course, we move on with day two. Yeah, day two of the Super Junior Tag League by New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, keep in mind, we already begun day one. If you haven't seen that review, that's the one previously. So we're going to focus on day two on this one. Also made a judgment call. We're only going to focus on the tournament matches, not the non-tournament matches, just to get that out of the way for everyone. And then, of course, as always, we'll be doing a short news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK. In the world of wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough of the jibber jabbers. Let's get started. So as I said, it's all about Japanese wrestling. So let's begin with ChocoPro number 482. Okay, so as you all know, ChocoPro are on the road to Cult of Heroine, which is, of course, the 30th anniversary of Emi Sakura, which will have her big show coming up soon. But right now, let's focus on number 482. And this is their much recent event that happened in Chigai Square. And of course, Emi Sakura opened up the show, greeting the fans, giving the info on the day's matches. So that's pretty much what happened on the opening side of the event. We opened up with tag team action. We have Soy teaming up with Sayaka Obihiro, which is interesting because, as you know, in recent time we have seen Soy team up with Mia. I'm going to presume that Mia was either busy in other things because, you know, some Joshi wrestlers are involved in other outside ventures besides wrestling. And teaming up with Sayaka Obihiro is going to be also interesting because she's also different from their personality. But their opponents is none other than Chi Koshikawa. Many of you may know this. Chi and Obi are in fact are former tag champions, and of course Chi's tag partner is one half of the Asian Dream Tag Team Champion Sayaka. Now, of course, it's having two Sayakas in the same ring, but as you know, I call Sayaka Obi as not to confuse everyone with Sayaka herself, because Sayaka does just go by that name. But anyway, the match was pretty good. Not to mention, you got Chi, who has too much energy. She finds ways to pull all the energy she has to try to pick up the win. And of course, Sayaka, being a tag champion known as Smiley Violence, well, she brings that out too. But of course, you have to be more careful with Obi, in the other hand, because she has some unusual, unorthodox tactics that will maneuvers that will make you lose the match. But however, it was Sayaka who picked up the win when she pinned Obi, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Now, our next match, well, this is a very interesting one. We have Hiroya Yawada taking on Chon Shiru. So this is a very interesting one because Chon, as a veteran in the wrestling business, you know, he is a very kung fu-ish type wrestler. You probably wouldn't know. However, of course, we know that Hiroya does have the capability to pick up a big win, but she's not there yet to pick it up. We know she can pull it off, but however, that didn't do enough because Chon applied a submission move on her, and just like that, she just gave up. Now, our main event is a very interesting one. We have tag team action. We have Mei Shruga teaming up with her teacher and senpai, Emi Sakura, of course. Many of you know this. It was Emi Sakura who trained Mei Shruga and various others, and they're facing against Kaho and Makoto. Now, of course, interesting enough, Makoto, who's also one half of the Asian Dream Tag Team Champions, is in there too, teaming up with a girl who is almost similar as Mei. And of course, Mei and Kaho, they're the same, and they always clash because they're trying to act who is more cuter than the other. I mean, I did call Mei Shruga the little slide devil because she likes to be a little dirty in some ways, despite the fact that her best bro, Belianaki, tells her to stop doing that. But of course, that doesn't help. But when it comes to Emi Sakura, we all know what her game is. We know she's determined to win, even if she has to use some tactics that she's not supposed to, but she pulls it off. But in the end, it was Sakura who picked up the win when she pinned Kaho, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Now, as for our Jonkin tournament, well, I wasn't too sure where we were going to head this one, but we ended up in the finals with Emi Sakura and Chi. No secret that these two ladies have won the Jonkin tournament before, but in the end, it was Emi Sakura who picked up the win, leaving Chiko Shikawa, of course, as runner-up. So that's pretty much what happened on ChocoPro. So we will be doing more until we get to the 30th anniversary by the end of this month. Hopefully we get the chance to see it as soon as possible. But as of right now, we are done with ChocoPro. Let's move on with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Okay, so we continue with more with New Japan Pro Wrestling with Super Junior Tag League. This is day 2, also just recent. Now, I want to point out something. Many of you may saw there were 6 matches involving. However, due to some unforeseeable circumstances, apparently Taiji Shimori was absent, so they had to make some arrangements. So instead of having all 6 matches, they just stuck up to 5. And I'm going to presume at some point there'll be some changes. We don't know how long Taiji Shimori will be out, but we will see. Now, our first match is in the B block. We have, of course, Dick Togo and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. They take on the Ichiban Sweet Boys. Now, of course, when it comes to, House of Losers, we all know their tactics. They like to win in any means necessary. I mean, with, of course, Dick, he has that garage that will choke you out. And, of course, with Kanemaru, with the whiskey mist on your face. But, however, of course, I'm sure that the Ichiban Sweet Boys, Robbie Eagles and Kosa Fujita, are too familiarized with these guys' tactics. But in the end, it was in fact Fujita that walked away with the win when he applied his submission onto Dick. Well, it was completely over. They got their next 2 points with the total points of 4. Now we jump into the A block. We have Daiki Nagai and Clark Connors taking on Yo and Master Wato. Now, of course, Daiki Nagai, well, we recently, as you know, in the first day, he was the one that lost the match. But I hope things turned out for this one. But unfortunately, they're facing 2/3 of the never openweight 6-man tag team champions, and not to mention former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions and all that. So you probably can guess how that plays out. But of course, with Clark Connors trying to do his usual tactics, being the aggressive type, well, it didn't work because apparently he tried to bring out the wheel that he always used, but it didn't do any good. But in the end, it was Yo who picked up the win by pinning Nagai, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now we jump back to the B block. We have Yamato and Tiger Mask. They take on Kukai and El Desperado. However, many of you guys know in the first day, these two teams did not have a good opening in the tournament. But the real question is who's going to walk out as the winners. That's the very key point, because these guys had no points. So somehow something has to give. So their ways. I mean, El Desperado, been considered one of the best junior heavyweight competitors in the world. But however, it was in fact Despi with the Venezuela onto Tiger, which is like a movement of the crucifix onto that Tiger Mask, and allowed him to pin him. 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now our next match, we have back on the A block. We have the United Empire, consistent of Jacob Austin Young and Templario, taking on Geto and Hiromu Takahashi. So as you all know, it's a very unusual team to team up with, because that's always been something we have seen. However, of course, we've been seeing seemed like they were getting along very well, despite their differences. I don't know exactly, because a part of me would like to think that somehow the unaffiliated and the War Dogs may form a big unit of some sorts. I'm not sure, but unfortunately, things didn't go according to plan for Geto and Hiromu, because Hiromu thought he had this match won because Geto got pinned by Jacob Austin Young, unaware by Hiromu. Was like, what happened? Like, he had no idea that Geto got pinned, because he thought he had this one won, but unfortunately, no. So apparently, the United Empire had their first 2 points. Now, our main event, we have Dragon Dia and Ryosuke Taguchi taking on, of course, the other House of Losers, and I would like to say the biggest scumbags on the planet, of course, Sho and Doiki, because, of course, we know how these guys are. They think they're tough just because they're champions. They think they are the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, Doiki the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. They makes them tough. No, these guys use unnecessary tactics in order to win, and that's exactly what they were trying to do. But however, once again, effing Sho used that plate once again onto Taguchi, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Doiki picked up the win for their team, giving them their total points of 4. So basically, they're currently tied with the Ichiban Sweet Boys. So we'll see what happens down the road with these guys. So we're officially done with New Japan. Let's move on with our last and final thing, news updates. Alright, our last thing, news updates, so let's begin as always with upcoming events. MLWs with Don Gato will have their event on the 20th of November in Charleston, South Carolina. They announced, of course, that the Good Brothers will be making their presence, Val Gallows and Carl Vanderson. So this is a huge thing for everyone. And then, of course, many of you may know this, that WrestleMania will happen in 2026 in Las Vegas. Don't forget, in 2027, they'll be overseas. But in 2026, they will be in Las Vegas. But however, as you know, whenever WrestleMania is in process doing their events, they always have WrestleCon. So they just announced that they will be having their events in Las Vegas for 2026 between the 15th through the 19th of April, and it's gonna be at the Horseshoe. I don't know, known as Bailey's or something like that. But yes, so that's the information I got. So if you guys have any plans for 2026 to attend WrestleMania or attend these events with WrestleCon, mark them on your calendar. Now, we only have one development. Many of you may have learned or not that we have new trainees at the Performance Center for this class, and they're all internationals. We have, of course, Jamie Garcia. Many of you may know him in Rev Pro as Zozaya. Now, many of you may not know this. Zozaya had his final match in Rev Pro, and it was more like not the end, but I'll see you guys later. So basically, as you know, when you go to WWE, you have your name change. I don't know if I have anybody or Zozaya fans here. If you guys are okay with the name, so let me know. We have, of course, Mike the Rudder, who many of you know him in Germany in the WXW as Mike Di Vecchio. Yes, so I do remember WWE has their sights set on him. And then, of course, we have a guy named Dusan Novakovac, or hopefully I pronounced that right. Yes, I don't know who that guy is. And then we have this guy named Cyril Kolkuli. He was known as Angel Black. Angel Black. He's that masked wrestler from France. Yes, it's the same guy, but this time he doesn't have his mask, which is typical because we have seen something like this with WWE. Many of you may remember Humberto Carrillo was known as the Ultimo Ninja, and they kind of convinced him to take off his mask. And I think it's a little horse crap from WWE, in my opinion, to have him remove his mask, but it is what it is. And then finally, we have Nathan Cranston. I don't know who the hell that guy is. So yeah, so these are the latest names involving and at the Performance Center that they recruited. So like I said, they're all international. So we'll keep an eye on these guys on their careers. I'm pretty sure we will see them in NXT or in Evolve sooner as we speak. But that's pretty much it. So let's just call it a day. All right. Hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, as you know, we have AEW Collision. We still come off after Wrestle Dream. So a lot of things is going to take place. We know that one of the matches is Mina Shirakawa versus Tekla. We do have, of course, that 8-man tag team match, which is going to be a $400,000 catch match between, of course, the Jet Speed and the Jurassic Express team meeting up, taking on FTR and the Bucks. So there's plenty of matches that will be taking place. And then, of course, we do have Day 3 for New Japan Super Junior Tag League. And, of course, we do have WWE NXT's, of course, Halloween Havoc. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to see that one. But if I do, we'll get it done. But like I said with New Japan, with Super Junior Tag League, we're just going to focus on mostly on the tournament matches. That way we can just focus on those more. So until then, I will say this, that I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang.